One. My name is Gail Towers on behalf of the Cook County Assessor's Office, and today we have our very own Cook County Assessor Frisk Kagi will be joining us. Okay, and also we have Hector, he's in the background, and also we have other members of our team. You don't see them, but they're in the background. So at the end, we're gonna have a Q&A, and you could always just drop your questions in there. You don't have to wait until the end because most likely your question will be answered beforehand. So with no further ado, let's get started. Our assessor, Chris Kagi.
Well, Gail, thanks for the intro, and everybody, thanks for being here today. This event today is part of us being your assessor's office. We want to make sure that we're serving you well, and we want to find you where you are. So this Facebook meeting is part of the ways that we interact with you and help you along with this process. I'm your neighbor in Oak Park. I wrote a piece in the Wednesday Journal that you can read more about the system, but we like to do this here too. And on a rainy day like this, we're glad that we can provide this service, and you can be doing this from the comfort of your own home or doing this on your phone. Okay, so this is a reassessment year. So this is a year when we can start the show here. This is a year when we are sending out our estimates of what your home is worth. We do this every 3 years. Last time we did this was in 2020, right early, actually just before the pandemic started, and a lot has changed since then, and this is part of our legal duty. The law requires us to take a snapshot of what homes and other properties are worth every 3 years, and this is part of that process. But we also know that we always have to remember that you know more about your homes than we do, and so we walk humbly as we do this, because we know that we might not know all the pertinent information out there to get the estimate of the market value of your house right. So here we want to show you how to navigate this system, also give you a little bit more information for the context of this. One of the things that when I came into this office that really surprised me was that even people who are steeped in government and as elected officials or staff, or people who are steeped in the real estate industry, they don't have a great grasp of the property tax system. It is very complex. So we want to give you information that helps you be a more knowledgeable citizen, gives you better context, and helps you make sure that you're navigating the system so that you're getting all the benefits you're entitled to. So we could start right here. Let me tell you a little bit about how this process works, and then we'll give you some more information on how specifically to do an appeal with the deadline coming up. So we can go to the next slide. While we're waiting, I just want to remind everyone you can go to our website at cookcountyassessor.com to get more information. You should have received your assessment notice in the mail. And if we go back to the first slide here, I think we've gone a couple ways down. So if we go up to number 2, if we go back a couple of slides, I want to make sure that we have everything here. So this is a good summary here of how we fit into the larger property tax system. What does the assessor's office do, and why do we send out these assessments to begin with? Basically, our school districts, again, I'm your neighbor in Oak Park, our school districts, our local village governments, the Cook County itself, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, all of these bodies of government, they need to raise money to provide the services that we all enjoy. And you have a part as a citizen to help them decide how much money they're raising this year. They decide how much they need each year, and that is called a levy. We don't set that at the assessor's office. That's set by your local governments, but we do assessments so that we can divide up the amount of taxes that they need to collect amongst all of us in proportion to our share of the community's assessed value. So that is why we do this, so that the person who has the more valuable property is paying more of the burden than the person who has a modest share of value. And in order to do that, you need an assessor's office to estimate the value of everyone's property. And that's what we do, and we hope you'll judge us based on how well we do that and how well we serve you if we're off the mark and try to get it right. So we value 1.9 million properties. And we also administer the exemptions that help to reduce some of your assessed value, that provide you savings off of that initial assessed value. But again, we don't set the rates and we don't set the levies that are set by our school districts and our villages and the county itself, and the 16 taxing bodies in total covering residents of Oak Park. It's a lot. So we could go to the next slide. As I mentioned, this is part of the reassessment cycle that we have to do each year under the law. And under the law, the assessment is supposed to estimate the market value of everyone's property. If we choose values that are lower for everyone, that takes us away from the legal duty, and it also makes us less accountable, because if everyone's marked low, that doesn't mean that your tax bill would go down. It might make you feel better, but it's all about your share of assessed value that determines your tax bill. So if we're assessing you low, but we assess other bigger properties even lower, that could mean that you're paying more than your fair share. So you want to judge us by how well we're doing by estimating the market value of every property, and then making sure that you're getting all the rights and then we're getting the assessment right for your property so that you're not overassessed. And that's what we're here to talk about today. The deadline to file an appeal is next week. It's May 15th. So we've got a week to make sure that we're giving you good knowledge to equip you if you want to appeal, because you have 30 days from the day of the assessment notice being mailed. And so that's how we get to the 15th. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. Here you can see some trends on real estate prices in Oak Park. They have gone up since 2020, as they have in many communities. Actually, Oak Park prices are up, not quite as much as we see in many other communities in the west and south suburbs, but they are still up. Here you can see some of the detail. If we could zoom in, guys, a little bit on this slide, people might be able to see it better. The median estimated market value is $475,000 for a single family home. There are about 10,000 single family homes in Oak Park, and that is up. If we look at the actual transactions that took place, the median transaction that took place in Oak Park was over $500,000 in 2022, and that's up pretty significantly from about $425,000 back in 2019. So it's gone progressively up. Many values went up since 2020, the pandemic year. Condos have been a little bit steadier. The median condo value is $172,000. There's almost 5,000 condo units in Oak Park. And then if you look at the 2 to 6 flats, you can see values up from about $435,000, and the median assessed value now is $504,000. We do this how do we do this? We look at a lot of transactions that happen for homes like yours in Oak Park. We look back several years, really focusing on the 3 years since the last reassessment. And we look carefully at the location. So a home in South Oak Park might be different from a cluster of blocks up further north in Oak Park. We're trying to make sure that we're looking at apples for apples and not comparing apples with oranges. We do this based on the data that we know about your house and other houses that have sold. So we can go to the next slide. If you want to learn more, we have a bevy of information here for you. So here on the right, you can go to our website and you can see how the data that we looked at in each neighborhood of Oak Park, and the different clusters that we think are economically meaningful in helping to estimate the value of homes. You can see that there's several different neighborhoods here. And if you hover over each one on our website, you can see which transactions took place in 2022, what the range of prices were, how many transactions there were, what the average price was, and so on. When you look at your assessment notice, go and look for your neighborhood code, which is in the top right-hand corner. And then you can go to the website at cookcountyassessor.com and the residential valuation report for Oak Park. And then you can see all of this information about what's going on in the neighborhoods. And this helps you to see both the transactions and the assessment summary for your neighborhood. And there is a lot more information too. We don't want to overwhelm you here, but you can do a lot of research if you're just curious or if you're preparing an appeal right on the website. And you can see the link there, cookcountyassessor.com/Oak Park-2023. So this is where I start handing it off to our experts on our team. There are 3 reasons that you can drive your appeal. Lack of uniformity, that means that you're not being treated the same way as people with like homes nearby you. Second reason is overvaluation. That's, I could never sell my home for this price that you've estimated it, and that does happen. And then third is we have a characteristic of your house wrong, and that we need to get that right. So I'm going to hand it off here. I believe it's to Hector and to Gail, and then from there, you're in really good hands. So we're here to help you, and we'll take it away from here, and then we'll get to questions.
Okay, thank you, Assessor Katie, for that valuable information. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start. Let me do the next slide here so that you can see it. Sharing the screen. Okay, yeah. Well, the assessor, he went over the 3 common reasons for filing an appeal, which is lack of uniformity, overvaluation, and incorrect property description. If you see something wrong on your description that you don't like or don't agree with, you could change it on your appeal. Okay, let's go to the next slide here. This is a reassessment notice for Oak Park Township. Now, all of you should have gotten this, and you can look it over and look at your market value, see if you agree with that. And if anything that you do not agree with, you could file an appeal. So you have 30 days to file an appeal for Oak Park Township, and Oak Park Township appeal ends May 15th. But you don't want to wait till the 15th. Make sure you get in there and start on time so that you could complete your appeal. Okay, to the next screen. This is more things about the characteristics. You can see some of it that you might be wrong. You may have a 1-car garage or something like that. You just read it, and if anything you don't agree with it, you could change it right here. Next slide. Okay, if your assessment is close to the median value for your neighborhood, you likely won't see a significant assessment reduction from an appeal. So you could pay close attention to that and continue filing your appeal. Okay, the reassessment appeal process. First, you're going to receive a notice, the one I just showed you. And after you see that, you can look it over. And if you disagree with anything, and also if anything you don't agree with or you want to change, you could also go ahead and file it and change it in an appeal. And if you need evidence, or you can upload everything right there. If you need a narratives appraisal, you could also put that in. And we have a room full of analysts, and they would go over your appeal, and they're the one that decides if you should get a decrease or a no change. But after they get render a decision, you will receive a written notice. You won't get a phone call or email. They will mail you out a notice. Now, for instance, like 2023, you filing your appeal in 2023. If you get a reduction or change or no change, it will appear next year. Next year, we get so many questions. Taxpayers are waiting to pay their bill. They're waiting for answer from their appeal. They just filing. But if you file in 2023, the results will be on your second bill of 2024. Now, if you filed last year in 2022, then you could look for on your second bill for this year for either a no change or a decrease. Okay. And this is on your 2023 online appeals, and the system would guide you right through it. You could start it, you could save it, you could revise it, and you could submit supporting documentations. And this is free, all free. You don't need an attorney. and you could just go ahead and make sure you start your filing before. I usually say on before May 15th. I say before May 15th. Okay. Okay. File an appeal. Okay. Step 1. Now, when you file your appeal, we're going to be talking about the residential appeals this year. So when you see that red arrow, residential, that's the most common appeal. And also condos, we have a lot of condos. And also you can file a commercial appeal, but really today we're focusing on residential appeal. Okay, right here, you're going to need an email address. You got to have an email address. If you don't have one, make your email address. And also you're going to need a password and you're going to log in. Okay, and like I said, the most common filing is the residential. That's what we are focusing on today, residential appeals. You find residential where you see the arrow and you click, and that would allow you to continue filing your appeal. Okay, this is another one. You start filing an appeal. You can see the arrow, and also you put your PIN number in, and then after you put your PIN number in, it will auto refill. But if your name is not in there, you don't have to use that. You could make sure you type your correct information in and continue. Okay, and then you look and make sure everything. You got to check these boxes. These 2 boxes, if you do not check those boxes, I don't think it'll allow you to continue. Check the 2 boxes and continue. Okay, after that, you would see your name and your email address, your city and state. And if all that is correct, you just continue. Just follow the prompts. And also, it's a PIN number. Sometimes some people have 2 and 3 PIN numbers. This will allow you to add those if necessary, and just continue. And here again, you just looking at information, confirming everything is correct, and make sure you just also you are the taxpayer owner. You're not the attorney. So it's 2 places there. You should click on the taxpayer owner and continue. Okay, here's the same way, auto refill. Look at the information, just follow the prompts, and you can't go wrong. Because if you put anything in incorrect, I think it won't let you go on, and you can look to see what you did, and then just go ahead and click next. Okay, here you confirming everything again and continuing. Same here, make sure all information is correct. You can see the red asterisk. Make sure you some of the information you don't need to fill out. Just make sure you pay close attention to the red asterisk. And they are the one that need information, which is you must put in to continue. Okay, here again is we are on evaluation for residential, and we are talking about the characteristics here, and it will let you see how many garages, whether you have central air, no air, and you can change anything and continue. Same here, you make sure everything is correct. Make sure your all the information is correct. And you can see the little arrow here with the asterisk. Make sure you fill that out and continue. Same here. It's just following the prompts, taxpayers. Just follow the prompts. Wherever you see the red asterisk, make sure you fill in the information and continue. Okay, again, this is a part that allows you to enter comparables within this filing process. You just, if you want to use the comparables that's in the system here, you just check the box, and also it will let you use those comparables. If you go to the next screen, you can see. And make sure you put all permanent information in that you need and continue. Okay, and after you choose maybe a comparable, you will see a lot of information like this. This tells you about everything, your property, and just continue. Okay, this is the part that allows you to upload. You could upload what you need, a narrative, appraisal, as I say, and you don't need an attorney authorization if you click taxpayer owner and continue. Okay, here's again, you're verifying everything, your name, your phone number, your email. And after you do that, you click next and submit. Now, this is at the point of no return. So it'll ask you, are you sure you want to submit this filing? Maybe you want to go back and do something. If you do not click yes, because once you click yes, then your appeal will be filed. Okay, to the next screen here. Okay, now, after you click on the yes submit button, you would get this confirmation. This is, you see the confirmation ID down there, and to give you the right to go back in and check on things. So when you finish here, make sure you save that. If you don't have a printer or anything, take a picture of it, because that's very important information. Okay, check your property exemption history. You could also do this on our website here at www.cookcountyassessor.com. Exemption history, appeal history, assessment history, and you could read about reassessment. And also you could sign up for our newsletter, would give you a lot of information on upcoming events and everything. So, okay, we have automatic renewal. We have 3 of them here. We have homeowners exemption, senior exemption, and disabled person exemption. These exemptions will be automatically renewed this year. So if you got them last year, you will get them this year. Now, if you didn't file for anything disabled or homeowners or senior, it cannot renew. So you must file first, and then it would be automatically renewed. Okay, and then we have the veterans. We have exemptions that it can be automatically renewed with additional information. The veterans with disability exemption. Now, usually we have that P-Tax 43 form that you can take to your doctor. So the only changes with the new legislation this year is also you could take it to your optometrist. If you have an eye condition, you could take it there and get it filled out. And also the veterans with disability. Now, it was a few changes on that, but I think we'll come to that later in the presentation. And the home improvement, that's the exemption you get for doing additional work on your property. And also, this is your second tax bill, your second installment tax bill. Remember, the first bill you get is a blue bill, blue for winter, yellow for summer. So this second installment bill will have all your exemptions on it, all your discounts. So just think of discounts, exemptions. So if you get a homeowner's exemption, you should have $1.00 amount in there, senior $1.00 amount, and the senior freeze $1.00 amount. Remember, one person can get up to 4 exemptions if you qualify. Okay, let's see, next slide here. Okay. This is which if you file in your exemption online, and we get so many emails and phone calls said, did you receive my exemption? I filed it. But if you file one, you should see this. You should get this confirmation. So if you didn't get it, maybe you need to go back in and try to see what happened the reason you didn't see this part. And also later on, next one, you should get an email confirmation that will look like this. Some people, it depends on how backed up we are. I wouldn't say 24 hours. I might say 48 hours. Could be any time frame, in that time. So you should get that also. So sometimes you just have to have a little patience and wait and see, and make sure you submit everything, because you should have seen that first uh, confirmation after you file your exemption online. Okay, we are here to help. You could contact us in many ways. You could call us at 312-443-7500, or you can connect with us on social media. You can make an appointment for in-person at any of our office, an in-person visit. And we have offices at downtown Chicago, 118 North Clark Street, and one out in Markham at the Markham Courthouse, 16501 South Kesey Avenue, Skokie, 5600 West Old Orchard Road in room 149. And our recently opened office, we're back in Bridgeview, 10220 South 76th Street on the second floor in room 205. And also, you could call us anytime between 9 and 9:30, or you could email us if you need. And also our QR code here. So you could open your camera up and click over it, hover over the QR code, and it would open up all our information. So any way you see fit to connect with us, we are here to help you. Okay, and I'd like to thank you all for attending our workshop. Now we're going to open it up to the Q&A. And I think Hector, he's going to come back on with me and make sure I see all the questions and see what is in. Oh, here is the assessor. He's back to help answer some of those questions. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Are you muted, assessor?
There we go.
Okay.
As Gail showed you, there are many different ways that you can contact us. So we showed you them all here. You can call us by phone. You can make an appointment. You can go to our branch offices. The Bridgeview office is pretty close to Oak Park, but actually downtown is also easy. She also, we also could have mentioned that you can also go to the Oak Park Township assessor, who's on Oak Park Avenue, or reach out there. They're there to help you. They're a free service that helps you navigate the system. But this video, we're also ready to go right into questions. So how about you want to launch us here, Hector? What you got?
So you guys did so good. Everything was done so well that there aren't any questions in the chat.
Well,
and we have our civic engagement team in there as well. Asking questions also. So that's very good. But one just popped in. So let's go ahead and throw that on the screen. And the question is, what year born can I file for the senior exemption? So I'm assuming they mean what year do they need to qualify, or what year do they need to have been born in order to qualify for the senior citizen exemption?
Okay, if the assessor doesn't want to answer that, you must be born in 1957 or prior years. If you're born in 1957, you could go on our website right now and apply. But if you're born in 1958, you need to wait until next year.
Correct. Anyone born in 1957 or before can file for the senior citizen exemption or the senior citizen freeze. For the freeze, there are a couple more different requirements, but we're going to keep it simple as that. Let's go on to the next question. Andy says, if my AV went up by a significant amount, how can I understand the impact on the tax bill?
Actually, this is a great question. Thanks for asking it, because a lot of people think that if your assessment goes up by 30%, as happened to a lot of folks in Oak Park, does that mean my tax bill is going up 30%? It does not, because your assessed value, it really only matters for determining your tax bill in proportion to the total assessed value in the communities that you're in and the taxing districts that you're in. And so if everyone's assessment is growing by about 30%, and actually total assessed value in Oak Park is growing 38% this year before appeals, then the bill would go up by a much lower amount. And I wish I could be precise on the exact impact, but there are a couple of things that still have yet to be determined. First of all, is this assessment only affects your tax bill, second half tax bill next year. The levies that are determined by the taxing districts, our schools and our village for next year have not been determined yet. They might go up by a couple percentage points. Although assessed value is up 38% so far, there are still all the appeals that we have to look at from you here at the assessor's office. And then there's another round of appeals. You get another chance to appeal at the Cook County Board of Review. So that 38% increase may be whittled down some. We don't know how much. It depends a little bit about what we're seeing in terms of evidence from people and what's happening at the Cook County Board of Review. But that's important context. I'll give you an example if you don't believe me, and a lot of people don't believe me. But in Chicago last year, there were literally hundreds of thousands of homeowners that had their tax bills go down, even though their assessed value went up. And this is something that's been repeated in previous years as well with lots of people. And the reason why that can happen is if your assessed value goes up, but total assessed value in the communities that you're in go up even more, then your share of the tax levies is actually going down. And that's why your bill can go down even though your assessed value goes up. So I wish I could be more precise, but I think a key takeaway is if your assessment's up 30%, your bill will not go up 30%. It will go up less. And we're here to make sure that you're getting all your exemptions. If you're not getting exemptions, it actually have a meaningful downward impact on the bill that you're paying. So let's make sure that all our seniors out there are getting their senior exemption. If you're qualifying for the freeze, that you're signed up. And a lot of 1/3 of homeowners don't have the homeowners exemption. So we want to make sure that you and all your neighbors and friends and loved ones are getting this too.
Awesome. We have a remark here from Sol, who asked the question earlier. She says, thank you so much for being here. The next question we have is a YouTube question, which is worth 100 points. It says, can you talk a bit more about the 3 reasons to file an appeal? Can I take this one?
Yeah, go knock it out of the park, Hector.
I just feel left out. That's all. So, there are multiple reasons why one would file an appeal, but the 3 most common are property description error, or that just means there is a factual error on the property. For example, our office says you have a building with 6 apartments or less, but you really have a single family home. Or our office says you have 3,000 square feet, but your property is really 1,700 square feet, right? There's a factual error. Another reason is uniformity, right? Ms. Gail and the assessor and I all live on the same block, house built by the same person, same size, same color, same blueprint, same everything. But for whatever reason, my value is greater than theirs, and I want to know why we are not the same, right? And then the last one, or not the last reason, but the last of the 3 most common reasons is overvaluation. Most folks who choose that do that because they don't believe that's how much their home is worth. So again, there are multiple reasons. Those are just the top 3. I hope that helps. The next question is from Ms. Torres. It says, I received a Cook County assessment letter for the previous owner, which I bought in 2022. Do I qualify for any exemptions? Great question, Ms. Torres. Ms. Gail, you want to take this one?
Yeah, well, you got to make sure, if you bought in 2022, if the previous owner had an exemption, you would be able to take advantage of that exemption. So if not, you would have to wait until next year if when you have lived there, January the 1st of the year in which you are applying. But even if you receive the homeowner's exemption from the last owner, next year you need to apply under your name. So you can make sure you get your exemptions going in your name.
Yeah, for sure. If the property was owner occupied on January 1 of 2022, you as the new owner are able to take advantage or receive the benefit of the previous owner. But we would, all 3 of us here would highly recommend that for next year, you apply for everything on your own. It looks it looks like we don't have any more questions. So we just want to thank you all for being here with us. I'm going to excuse myself out, let you guys close, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Hector, for everything you do. And I'd like to thank everybody that joined us and hope we answered most or all of your questions. So I'll see if the assessor want to have anything and close it out.
Well, hey, Gail, Hector, everybody, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time and see you around wherever you may be. You can always welcome at our office, at our branch offices, visiting us online, or just at the next virtual session. We'll see you later.
See ya. Have a good day.